The theme of Disability History Month 2020 poses the question, access. How far have we come? How far have we to go? Dial Shop Mobility is a lifeline to the disabled people in our community, providing a facility where mobility scooters can be hired, enabling all to access the city centre shops and facilities. As well as hire, Dial Shop Mobility sells mobility equipment and independent living aids and can offer a repair and service to your own equipment. Dial West Cheshire is a flagship service which other shop mobilities around the country could learn from. In 2017, Chester was the first British city to win an EU Access City Award, of which Dial Shop Mobility Service played an instrumental part. Chester has become the first British city to win the coveted European Access City Award for its commitment to ensuring that the historic city continues to become more accessible for all. The Access City Awards, organised by the European Commission, not only recognises cities for their efforts to make it easier for disabled people and older people to gain access to public areas, but highlights those who have clear plans for further improvements. Dial Shop Mobility has Blue Badge parking outside the facility, which allows us to deliver scooters directly to the customer. Blue Badge parking is vital in Chester city centre. The current council parking policy enables Blue Badge holders to benefit from 4 hours of free parking in this car park, giving them access to the city centre. It is important that this is continued into the future. The entrance and exit to the car park are not controlled by barriers, which is convenient for disabled people because some cannot use the ticket machines and buttons. As well as Blue Badge parking outside the premises, enabling easy access to the service, Shop Mobility works closely with the local Plus Bus service, who collect people from their house and drive them right up to the front door of Shop Mobility, where with prior arrangement, we have their equipment ready to meet them.
What is it about Shop Mobility that people love? They just know it's freedom for them.
In 2017, the Chester Bus Interchange opened, and the following year it won Accessible Transport Project of the Year in the UK. They have made great efforts to make the location accessible with the following facilities: manifestation on glass panels which benefit visually impaired people, a tactile information board, an accessible toilet, a changing places toilet, a shop mobility call point, tactile flooring which leads to buses, and a reception counter that has a low section.
This is Story House, which is one of the new places in Chester. It has a theatre and a film place and a library and a drink place, relaxation place. And it's great for disabled people because you can get your scooter in here.
Some of the features that make Story House accessible include accessible ramps, accessible toilets, lifts, hearing loops in the theatres, and a low-level service counter in the cafe.
The toilets are reasonably accessible. The only problem is they tend to put baby changing facilities in there, and sometimes you can't actually get in the toilet because of that.
Story House hold an annual Kaleidoscope Festival which celebrates diversity. This is a week-long programme of events which in 2019 included Chester's first ever Disability Pride event, of which Dial West Cheshire proudly took part. When the charity moved into the building in 1986, the accessible features were probably acceptable at that time, but in 2020 the building is no longer fit for purpose.
Dial is a very friendly place. Everybody comes here and loves it. We have a really good cafe, but the problem is we need something bigger and a bit more disabled friendly. We have the car park, but it's only got a very limited amount of spaces. And this is the main disabled parking area for the main part of Chester. We really could do with a lot more.
This is the Rose in Chester. The Rose have been here since 1533.
Steep stairs, uneven surfaces, and with some parts of the Rose only being accessible when the Grosvenor Shopping Centre is open, disadvantages both disabled customers and workers of shops and restaurants.
Council did try to get a grant to put a lift in, a level access lift, but unfortunately they weren't successful and it seems to have been completely forgotten.
Tom Welch, chair of the West Cheshire Access Group, wrote to the council in 2019 inquiring about the disabled access provision in the proposed 4-year project to revive and rebrand the Rose in Chester. He congratulated the council on securing funding to improve the city centre and highlighted that this would provide an opportunity to enhance disabled access to the Rose. He posed the question, are there provisions within the project to improve disabled access? The shared space on Frodsham Street, where both people and vehicles are able to navigate simultaneously, has raised a huge amount of concern among the disabled community.
I really worry about Frodsham Street because there's buses, there's taxis which are quite big and people don't think they're there because it looks like a pedestrian street, but it actually isn't. And it's one of the things in Chester that we really worry about as disabled people.
The level surface on Frodsham Street benefits people who use mobility equipment such as scooters and wheelchairs, but Transport Minister Nusrat Ghani reignited the debate around these controversial shared spaces when she visited Chester in 2018. As part of a package of measures, she announced a temporary ban on all future shared spaces schemes, pending further investigation. Furthermore, the toilets at Frodsham Street have been closed for a very, very long time, despite the fact that Cheshire West and Chester was ahead of the curve when installing changing places toilets at various locations across the borough. We ask the council, what are you doing to reopen them? Information, including details of accessible facilities, is vitally important to disabled people, and we look forward to the long-awaited refresh of the Chester City Centre Access Guide. Accessibility in Cheshire West and Chester has come a long way, yet there is still more that needs to be done in order to empower and enable disabled people to live their lives as independently as possible.